in July and tell people this is what the driver's thinking and feeling if I have never felt it, you know, and this car is going to be completely different. So I just wanted to make sure, I feel like that I would have more confidence in my own voice and my own delivery having had some time in the car, and that might help me. So I was asking around. I asked Letard, he's got a connection to Spire, if maybe I could get behind the wheel of their car for just even a run or two. Me and the boys were going to come down here, Burton and Letard were going to come down here and walk around and be nosy, but if I could drive a lap or two, that'd be great. And so I was just calling around RCR and a couple other teams to see what they're doing and I pinged Chad Knaus a few times, and I think I ended up texting him about 6 times. And he was receptive to the idea. And as we got closer and they started understanding more about the involvement of their drivers in the Chili Bowl and how you know, how much they were going to be committed to that, and it just made more sense, I think, for them to just have me do it all and not worry about a guy coming back and forth and trying to squeeze one of those drivers into a few laps here. And you know, so they got William to really lean on, but I was happy to have the 2 days. Chad didn't think I wanted to do the 2 days because he remembers me as somebody who didn't really like testing, but having not done it in a long time, I was happy to help them out, and it's really helped me out. I'm taking a ton of notes and learned so much about the car that I think is really gonna, when I talk to the drivers now, I think I can understand what they're talking about, right? When I can ask them about what's challenging about this car and this track, even if we're talking about another racetrack, I think I can understand, you know, when he says, this is what I feel, I can really kind of, you know, tap into this experience and really know what he's talking about. I think that'll be helpful.
Thank you.
Go Kelly.
Kelly Crandall, Racer.com. Dale, along those same lines, when you go back in the booth now, between running here and running Bowman Gray, what are some of the things that you feel more confident about talking about that you only would have gotten now that you've been in the car?
Well, the biggest thing about this car that's different to me is the rack and pinion steering and how that feels, how fast and quick it is. And you know, that to me makes this car a completely new animal and totally foreign. You know, that feel and the steering, you wouldn't think that what would be so different. You know, it turns the wheels left and right. How could that feel any different? But it's quite different, and will take some getting used to. And I think it's one of the things that the drivers have really worked hard and spoken a lot about to try to improve and change the feel of the rack and pinion to be able to race around the ovals. It probably is amazing to use what they have at the road course, but when you're going around Daytona or somewhere where you need a really kind of a slower ratio, this thing they got here is a little bit too quick for me. But I think you know, that's probably going to be the one thing that takes the most getting used to, and it'll be something you adapt to. The brakes is another thing. When I went to Bowman Gray and I only ran a few laps, and I probably should have spent a lot more time in the car. I regret not really running a lot more laps. I never got even close to over driving the car into the corner. The brakes stopped the car way quicker. So when you come into the pit road here at Daytona on a green flag stop, you would start lifting and braking as soon as you got off the transition of the banking and the turn. As soon as you got straight and got the car kind of straight and aimed it at the pit road, way back there in turn 4, that's when you'd start braking or thinking about slowing the car down. And it took all of that distance up till the pit road speed line to get the car slowed down, right? And with this car, you cut that distance in half. You don't have to start braking till halfway into that same, you know, so the braking power is enormous. And so at a place like Martinsville, you know, you're gonna brake way later. You're not gonna get into the brake pedal till much later in the corner, and it's gonna do all of the stopping right right in a very short period of time, it's completely different. So just trying to learn that braking performance and understand where the limit is and what's too far. You know, driver, these guys can learn that in a very short period of time, in a couple hours, maybe a day of testing at a track like Martinsville. They'll finally get to a point to where they feel like they're getting everything they can. But you know, those are some of the things I think they're gonna have to go to every track and, you know, and learn these things, because each track will need a little bit of a different application. So the other thing too is the right rear tire with the shorter sidewall. There's a lot less information that you're getting as the driver of the car and the field. There's a lot less information that that you're understanding about the right rear tire, because that sidewall was sort of a sensor, and the deflection in the sidewall, when it was taller, it deflected a lot more. And so when they make it short, they have to make it stiffer, and so that sidewall really doesn't do a lot of moving around, and that would give you an understanding of kind of how much grip you had in the right rear of the car, and how you could kind of drive the car off the right rear tire, and I don't think you can do that with this car. So the driving styles, for a lot of guys, they're not really gonna, some guys like to hang the right rear out and kind of be loose, and this car, I don't know if they'll get there. They'll figure out how to set it up to where it race that way, but right out of the gate, it's not easy to do. And so trying to understand how much grip you got in the right rear tire, it's almost like somebody's unplugged that sensor, you know, and it's just not working. And you know where everything else is, but you just don't know nothing about what's happening in the right rear tire. And this goes back to that conversation I had with William. He's like, man, I had to slide it a few times to go, oh, okay, that's what that feels like. Okay, now I understand, I think, how much grip this thing really has. But until you do slide it, hopefully you don't crash into anything when you slide it, you don't know. And that's tough. Yep.
We're gonna try to get two more in here before we have to let Dale go. We'll go to Zach and then finish up with Jordan.
Zach Albert, NASCAR.com. Dale, NASCAR Hall of Fame is 9 days away. What do you hope for induction night?
Oh man, I don't really have any expectations. I'm just gonna go and enjoy, and got a lot of friends and family that'll be close and be around. So I don't know what to expect, you know. So I hope that I hope that it's a great experience for myself and for Red and Mike's family. I hope that we can move back. You know, I hope it's nice to be able to sort of get this process going again for the next round of guys and girls that get inducted, and start getting that process going again, because we've kind of been on hold for a while and had to push back a class. But I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm just gonna go with a good positive attitude and enjoy everything that happens, and I'm sure we're gonna see a lot of people I haven't seen in a while, so that'll be fun. Yeah.
We'll wrap up with Jordan.
Jordan Bianchi, Athletic. You've talked about what you learned with this car and how it kind of helped you, broadcasting and kind of understanding of this. I'm wondering what feedback you've given to the team that you think can help Hendrick, when they come here in a few weeks.
Well, they made some changes that have developed, found some speed in the car, changed a couple things that make the car go a little faster, and I'm just trying to help Alan understand what I'm feeling in the steering, and basically they'll make changes in the car aerodynamically to try to make the car faster, and that might make the car go faster down the back straightaway, but is it hurting the car in the corners? Am I having to turn the wheel more and make the car tight? Is anything happening that's slowing the car down as I go in and out of the corner? And when it's really windy, I can help him sort of understand how he's made a change that has helped the car not be quite as affected by the wind. With this car being as draggy as it is, trying to get it to cut the air and get through the air is really important. So when he makes a change, sometimes that might help the drag a little bit or something like that, so, you know, I just, I try not to really overdo it in terms of being descriptive about what I'm feeling out there, but I just, you know, I just kind of let him know whether I think that I had to turn the wheel a bit too much. You know, the run before, I really didn't need to turn the wheel in the corner, and I felt like that the car went through the center of the corner faster because of that. Now we've changed some things, and it's faster on the straightaway, but I think I got more wheel in it, and that's probably not a great thing. And, you know, they go back and they look at the computer and they go, you're right, but it's faster, and the gain on the straightaway's worth it, worth the negative in the corner. You know, they'll decide whether, you know, they want to keep that change or not based on you know, the information they're seeing, but I just give them whatever feedback I think I can. And it's been hopefully helpful. Yeah, I think Chad came by at the end of the day yesterday and seemed pretty happy with the feedback, and so yeah, I mean, there's not much the driver here can do, but to make the car faster. But I just try to tell them what I'm feeling.
All right, Dale, thanks for joining
Thank
us,
y'all.
and have fun today.
Good to see everybody.
Thanks, Dale.